And good luck, and welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're watching episode 67 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit that like button, save it to your device, subscribe, and send it to a loved one and or an arch nemesis. If you're watching on YouTube, and you should be watching on YouTube because it is the number one way to watch the Good Luck podcast, make sure you flick that like button. You're going to smash that subscribe button. And then you're going to dip into the oil well in your basement because you're an oil man. You're going to grease up that algorithm, and you're going to do so with your son HW by your side. And you're going to say, well, I'm an oil man, as you leave a comment. And why do we grease up? Why do we grease up the algorithm, HW? Well, because the more comments you leave, the more grease you apply to that algo, the faster the fastest growing podcast in the world grows in the world. Okay? The math is mathing. I want to give a big thank you to our sponsor today, Unbranded Water. We're still looking for a beverage sponsor. Oh, God damn, that's some good water, isn't it? I have had a traumatic 48 hours. I went to my kitchen. Let me silence my phone because, I'm so fucking popular. People won't stop hitting me up. The bag just keeps blowing me up. I went to my kitchen to make myself a smoothie in the morning a couple days ago. And what did I fly? Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say, what did I find? Perhaps a Freudian slip. Flies. That's what I found. Fruit flies. Not a few fruit flies. My kitchen was infested with fruit flies. I'm talking dozens of fruit flies. I'm talking it was a goddamn extended family reunion of fruit flies. It looked like my big Italian family reunion of fruit flies in my kitchen. Emphasis on my kitchen. This is my kitchen. You don't get to fucking flutter around and fly in here, okay? You disgusting fucking animals. So, I'm freaking out because, I take out the trash. I do the dishes again. I had like 6 dishes in there. Do the dishes again. I'm like, what do I get on the internet, and I'm like, I don't want to go to Home Depot to get like fruit fly traps because I hate Home Depot if you've watched this show before. So, I find a way, like a homemade fruit fly trap. And the way you do it, if you ever suffer from fruit flies, this is the way you do it. You get a clear glass, right? And you fill it with apple cider vinegar. Now, I happen to have apple cider vinegar, fortunately, because, I like to keep my digestion loosey-goosey. You know what I mean? Keep the body healthy and the gut healthy. So I have apple cider vinegar. So I pour it. I pour you pour like half the cup of apple cider vinegar, and then you put dish soap and mix it up. And then you cover it with saran wrap, like clear saran wrap, and you poke holes in the top of the saran wrap. And you put the soap in there because, fruit flies can't resist vinegar, so they fucking flock to the vinegar. But you have to put the soap in to drown them. A little dark, but you need the soap because when they flock to the vinegar and take a dip in the vinegar pond, it's quicksand. And they sink. And they drown. And I would imagine it's a traumatic, horrible death. But you know what? Don't step fly into my kitchen. Sorry. So I set up like 3 of these traps in my kitchen. I go back and play a couple games of college football, 2025, where I'm the number 1 ranked running back in the country. Come back to my kitchen to get some water. And dear God, it looked like Chernobyl. I mean, it was a graveyard of fruit fly corpses. Just dozens and dozens of dead fruit flies in the fucking traps, just or sinking, and it was pretty traumatizing. It looked like the beaches of Normandy. It was If you listen closely, you could actually hear the screams of the fruit. Mom! Son! You know, you could hear it if you really listened. But you know me, ruthless leader of his kid, couldn't care less. Turned up the music. You know what I mean? Committed a bug genocide in my kitchen. But just get out of it's my kitchen. I don't fuck with bugs, man. Do I tell this story? Okay, I'll tell it quickly. When I first moved to LA, I was living in West Hollywood. And one morning, I was laying in bed. And my bed was below a window. And I woke up to like a zzz, zzz, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is it like on my face? You know, I like felt like a thing. And I'm like, oh. And bzz, 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 I'm like, what the fuck? And I open my eyes, and there are flying termites falling out of a crack in the wall by the window above my bed onto my face. Like a faucet of flying termites onto my face. I mean, when I tell you out of there, you know? Just, I mean, the most disgusting thing you could ever fathom. They look, if you don't know what a flying termite is, they look, first of all, congrats, but they look like flying fire ants. And we had an outbreak in my apartment complex. So I'm freaking the fuck out. I take a bunch of videos of it. Super gross. I'm like ready to light all my stuff on fire. I'm ready to burn down the apartment, to be honest. I was ready to just light it ablaze and start over. I call my landlord. So like I was with this huge rental company. That's like where the apartment I was with. So there's like a building manager who was a part of a huge and I'm going to say the name of the company because fuck this company, HMMY Apartments. Okay. And I called her and I'm like, hey, just wanted to let you know there's a giant flying termite outbreak in my room. So I'm going to have to go fucking live somewhere else. Can you have an exterminator come and take care of this? So she's like, okay, let me call you back. She calls me back. She's like, okay, I've been calling around. The only company that can come out within the week is blah, 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 blah. So they're not going to be able to come out until next Monday. It's Monday. So I got to wait 7 days where all my shit is just getting infested with flying termites. My room is a hazard zone. So I'm like, all right, well, I get out of there. I go stay with a friend for a week. And it's time to pay rent. And I'm like, hey, so obviously, since my room was infested with termites, not going to pay for the week, right? So do I just pay you rent like minus the week? Like, is it prorated? How do we want to do this? And she's like, oh, well, technically, we can't forgive any of your rent except for the half day that the exterminators came and sprayed your house with poison to kill them. Technically, only half of a day can be prorated. So we're going to go ahead and take $36 off your rent. To which I said, I think you have me completely fucked up if you think that's going to happen. So let me speak with the owner of this company because this is not going to fly. She's like, no, this is final. I've spoken to him. He does. So I'm like going back and forth on email for days. Finally, I get on the phone with the fucking owner of this company, expecting him to be like, hey man, totally understand. Like, and either be like, we just can't do this because then we have to do it for everybody. Or like, hey man, we'll take care of like a couple days for, like do me a solid as someone who's lived here for 2 years. This guy gets on the phone with me and goes, first thing he says to me, oh, so you're the guy who's been fucking complaining and blowing up my email. Oh, so you're the guy who, and I'm like, now, unfortunately for this guy, the Good Luck podcast wasn't out there in the world yet. So he didn't know how much of a menace I was. So I said to him on the phone, let me explain what's going to happen here. This isn't about the money. I don't need the money, which is a lie because I did. I was broke as fuck back then. I said, you guys are going to prorate me the week that my apartment was infested with flying termites. And if you don't, I have about 70 photos and videos of flying termites pouring out of the walls of your building. I'm going to upload all those photos to the internet, and then I'm going to backlink them to HMMY apartments. I'm going to run ads on Google. So whenever somebody searches HMMY apartments or any of your properties, giant photos of flying termites are going to come up, along with a bunch of subtext about flying termites. So you're going to refund me this fucking week, or I'm going to destroy you. He hung up on me. I got an email a day later saying that my week would be prorated on the event that I left the apartment complex. So I don't fuck with bugs. Long story short. And I don't fuck with HMMY apartments. All right. Enough about me. Let's talk about the week, because we got a lot to cover today. First of all, football season starting soon. Get ready for insufferable Lions fan Gino. He's coming, and we're winning the Super Bowl. The Olympics have been going on all week. We'll get into the Olympics a little bit more, because obviously we're going to talk about the Imane Khelif boxing scandal. But we're trailing China right now in the gold medal count by 1. Actually, Noah Lyles just won the gold, so we might be tied. But we are kicking their fucking ass in the total medal count by over 24 or 25 medals. So fuck you, China. I want to talk about, before we go back to the Olympics, I want to talk about this Friend AI necklace that's been going viral in the tech world. There's a new AI companion coming out called Friend, and they dropped this trailer on Twitter. And we're just going to play the trailer. And again, if you're not watching the Good Luck podcast, you're really not going to get the full effect of this. I implore you to head on over to YouTube if you're at this point in the Spotify or Apple. But anyway, here we go.
Gosh, I'm out of breath.
Friend.
We made it. Woo! I don't know how to woo very good. That's fair. All right, let's go.
Let me show you how to game, bro, okay? Oh, come on. Oh, let's go!
Are you serious? Come on, man. I hate this game.
Take notes, baby.
Oh, man, you guys suck.
Bro, you look like the back
Let's
of the
go.
Dude, what? How did you do that?
I know the effects are crazy. It's dank. I could eat one of these every day. Oh, sorry, I got you messy.
It's really nice up here. How'd you find this place?
I don't know. I just kind of like to come up here to be by myself. I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
She goes everywhere with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess I must be doing something right then.
I guess so. We'll see.
Friend.com. Okay, so obviously the first thing you're thinking, which is the first thing everybody was thinking, which is what everybody commented under this was, is this a Black Mirror episode? Huh, talk about Black Mirror coming to life. And you would be right for thinking that, because it is very Black Mirror. If you weren't watching, basically it's a commercial and they're wearing this AI companion device around their neck, right? And it is listening to you. It's a wearable necklace, or a clip-on accessory. It listens to your conversations and provides feedback via text through an app. So the AI forms its own thoughts and decides when to communicate. More on that later. So founder Avi Schiffman, who I've actually met before at a Web3 event a couple years ago, he spent $1.8 million on the domain name to buy friend.com. So this is kind of one of the big controversies of this was that. A lot of people were arguing what a waste of $1.8 million. And the people that are saying that, you're dumb. You just don't know how this works. That's actually a great investment. It's incredible branding. Most VCs would applaud that kind of a purchase. because also you're not like spending $1.8 million that's gone forever. You can sell that. You could always sell the domain if you wanted. You still own the domain. Okay. But it's a great buy, because what you do is you are trying to market this as the first successful AI companion app as a friend. And by buying friend.com, you are essentially making that statement, whether it's true or not, right? And so it is incredible branding. So let's talk about the device. So yeah, it's a wearable necklace. It's the privacy is what a lot of people are going to be thinking, like, okay, oh, it's listening to you. This is super intrusive. There is end-to-end encryption. There's no long-term storage of conversations. It's easy to delete memories. It is $99 to buy this thing. You can pre-order now. Shipping starts in January for the first 30,000 units. So right there, that's $3 million. And they will sell all 30,000. I would expect there to be many more than that, which they'll be on back order for. So the idea here, I'm trying to be objective here, and then I guess I'll give what I think. Companionship, right? People are super fucking lonely. So it's showing this AI companion like in all these social situations, like a girl on a date, guys playing video games with each other. I don't know if that's where it's going to be most like interesting and effective. To me, it's like people that are by themselves or alone. Like I could see myself maybe using it as just a simpler way of doing ChatGPT, or like a more upgraded Siri. Like I could be like, hey, like instead of having to like go on the ChatGPT app and ask a question for, like getting these things texted to me. But that's me thinking again, like business. That's not really how they're marketing it. This is like a friend, like a companion for people that are lonely, right? And I don't think their intention is to fully replace human interaction. Like at the end of the video, you see her like she's on a date, an awkward fucking date, by the way. And she like goes to talk to like touch it and like interact with it. And then she's like, oh, let me stay in the moment, which is like kind of a cute, quirky marketing thing they did. But I think like the challenge that they're going to face, which is the challenge that other previous companies have faced, like Humane's AI Pin and Rabbit. These are the two like big AI companion apps that have come out in the last year. They both failed miserably. They're just not very functional. They're not very like. There's a lot of challenges. Like people aren't really used to like the limited screen space thing, like not having a display, and like Rabbit has more of a display than the Humane Pin, which is like literally a pin. But I don't know if the market is ready for this yet. I don't know. Like we're undoubtedly inevitably spiraling towards this future, right? But I don't know if the market is here. Just like Apple's headset failed. I don't know if the market is ready for that kind of step yet into technology. And when you launch a product like this, you run the risk of being too early, right? And if as long as they have enough runway and they don't get absolutely destroyed, like, okay, the real reason Rabbit and Humane failed is because like Marcus Brownlee, who's like the biggest tech reaction video guy, like reviewer, I should say. I should elevate him a little bit more. He's incredibly smart and does a really good job. He absolutely destroyed these two brands. And under this video on Twitter, he commented like, is this satire? And the founder was like, looking forward to a positive review. And he's like, yeah, can't promise that. I'll give you an honest one. Anyway. So I just like, it's just tough. Again, like the issue with AI is like, AI can't replicate the depth of human emotion and relationships and interaction. I've used like ChatGPT 4.0, which is cool. Like the voice chat thing on ChatGPT. We demonstrated it on this show. It's just limited and kind of predictable. And I don't know. I don't know what the training data was on. I would imagine it's just a language model. So I just don't know the depth of like what it can do. And obviously it's going to be tough to get over the hurdle of the continuous listening and data handling of this and how it could deter potential users. The price point, like $100, to be honest, seems kind of fair. I don't think that's going to turn people off. like especially the people that are buying something like this. So I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. Keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on it. Maybe I get one just to fucking try it on the show. We'll see. Okay, let's talk about Imane Khelif. We're going to talk about Imane Khelif, the boxing controversy that has taken over the headlines of the Olympics. I did a viral rant on TikTok about this, and we're going to kind of repurpose it for the sake of this show and give like other perspectives on it. Let's talk about what it is first, and then we'll unpack it. So Imane Khelif is a cis woman from Algeria who's a boxer who beat the shit out of an Italian boxer in the Olympics. The controversy is that the boxer who quit was like, I've never been hit that hard, da-da-da-da-da. Well, this opened up a can of worms as people began to learn that she had previously been banned from competition in the World Boxing Championships, which we'll get into. So all of a sudden, and the first thing that I saw was a trans woman has beat up a girl in the Olympics and is heading to the next round. What kind of world is this? When a man can beat up a girl, right? That's the first like 30 things I saw on the internet, on Twitter. Now, because I'm not a fucking jackass, before I posted anything or did anything or really even had a thought, I said, well, let me see if this is true. And let me like do a minute of research into this. And it's crazy that this is what we have to do now, but this is what you have to do now, especially when you have a platform, right? So did a minute of research. Guess what? Imane Khelif is not trans. She was born a woman. She's always been a woman. She has a vagina and has always had a vagina. She's never identified as a man. She's never claimed to be a man. She's been a woman forever. She's from Algeria, where it's illegal to be trans. Her father, who like tried to deter her from boxing when she was young because, quote, boxing is a dangerous sport for girls. There's photos of her as a girl. Mike Tyson shared a photo of her like as a girl. Like, this is Imane Khelif. She's a girl, okay? She has what's called DSD, which is difference in sex development. 0.02% of the world is born with this genetic situation, we'll call it. She has more testosterone than the average girl, okay? Now, this is incredibly nuanced. I'm not an expert on genetics. Neither are you. I'm not a biologist. I don't know, and prior to this story coming out, didn't give a shit about any of this, okay? But what I do give a shit about is the narrative that's being pushed. I do give a shit about that because what I'm seeing is, outside of the obvious stupidity of she's a man, which is just factually, scientifically false, the other thing I'm seeing is it isn't fair. Well, it's not fair. Well, she's got more testosterone. It's not fair. Well, life isn't fair. Sports aren't fair. That's sports. The top athletes in the world have, not all of them, but many of them have been blessed with a better genetic makeup than others. And the other ones have to make up for it with fucking hard work and the other like crevices of the game. Okay? It's not fair that LeBron James is 6'9", 250 with a 44-inch vertical and a wingspan like this and has been like that since he was a fucking wee lad. It's not fair that I'm a 5'9" white guy with hoop dreams that at best could have maybe been a point guard, but at 5'9", undersized. Wasn't going to work out for me. It's not fair. I was a swimmer growing up, which a lot of people didn't know. I competed in Junior Olympics. I went to internationals, Y internationals. I didn't love swimming, but I was pretty fucking good at it. It isn't fair that Michael Phelps is genetically gifted, that he's a genetic freak whose arms and legs and spine curvature and generates half the lactic acid of a normal human. It isn't fair that he was gifted with that genetically. But guess what? It's legal. He can do it. And in the Olympics, you can do it. There's nothing illegal against having more testosterone. She's not on PEDs. She isn't a man. And guess what? She's lost 9 fights before. This isn't like the fucking undefeated, undisputed, unbeatable superwoman. She's lost. She got silver like 2 years ago in the World Championships. The Italian girl is a loser. She got her ass beat. I'm Italian. These are my people. She's a fucking loser. Sorry. Oh, you got hit in the face too hard and couldn't continue? Like, you're a boxer. This is boxing. So what was she doing? Playing it up. She couldn't win that fucking fight. She knew it. She wanted to play into the headlines. And she got this girl fucking dragged across the fucking internet. Every fucking hateful, transphobic, uninformed idiot dragged her through the mud to push their agenda. And then guess what she did? She apologized yesterday. Wah. So where did this all start? Like, how did this start? Well, congratulations, you've fallen for Russian propaganda. Because this all started in Russia. Little history lesson. Again, I didn't know any of this without looking it up. Okay? I had to do diligent research. Anything that I tell you on this show, I'm going to do my best to really thoroughly research this stuff. Okay? Because I believe in journalistic integrity before I give my opinion on it. She won a silver medal at the 2022 World Championships without incident, was tested. Everything was fine. No issue. The controversy began after she beat a Russian boxer at the 2023 World Championships. The IOC, which is a boxing federation, severed ties with the IBA, which is a boxing federation, due to corruption and the reinstatement of Russian and Belarusian athletes against guidelines. So basically, Khelif and this Taiwanese boxer, Lin Yuting, who's also competing in the Olympics, face similar allegations after winning against Russian opponents. The Russian Federation, this IBA, who's like run by Russians, basically, the head of it's this Russian dude, and who gets money from Russia. After Khelif and Taiwanese boxer Lin Yuting beat Russian opponents, all of a sudden, Lin's medal was revoked for failing a sex test, and Khelif was declared ineligible based on vague DNA test claiming she had XY chromosomes. So you've seen everybody like, she's got an XY chromosome. She's got it. There's no proof of any of that. The only source of that is the IBA, who is a Russian-led organization who all of a sudden had an issue once a Russian boxer got her fucking ass kicked. The International Boxing Association, the IBA, has a history of corruption, including financial dependence on Russian Gazprom and allowing Russian athletes to compete under their flag. Russian state media, influenced by the IBA's Russian head Umar Kremlev, spread allegations against Khelif and Lin, suggesting they had male chromosomes without proof. And you fell for it. 1 year later, on the world stage, you fell for it. Because you didn't fucking look it up. And you had to give your opinion. You had to spread this, didn't you? And I'm not just talking to the average person who thinks they have a platform. I'm talking to national media outlets who wanted the clicks and started spreading that a trans woman beat up a girl, when in reality, a girl beat up a girl. And you got fucking idiots like Dan Orlovsky, who, by the way, Detroit Lion legend that stepped out of the back of the end zone, sending out tweets like, protect our daughters, Motherfucker, you want to talk about protecting our daughters? You want to protect our daughters? Protect this girl who has worked her whole fucking life from Algeria, poor, fought her whole fucking life to get here, is now in the quarterfinals on the cusp of she's getting a medal. She's already qualified for a medal, trying to compete for the gold medal. And motherfuckers are being so horrible to her. And you want to get on here and say, protect our daughters. Dude. Protect her. It's so fucking lame, dude. And you know what? And I'm putting down the fucking pit vipers. God damn it. I was gonna wait. I was gonna save this, but sorry, Pikachu. You want to wear the woods, Pika? Let's put the woods on Pikachu. You know what? The woods are straight sticks, so it's not gonna work out. Yeah, sorry, man. You're gonna just have to go raw dog. We'll put them next to you. Okay. These are the special good luck pit vipers. If you look closer, you can see good luck on the lenses. All right, let's fucking talk about this because I got more. Like all political issues, and this is every side is guilty of this. Let me be clear. Democrats do this with certain issues. Republicans do this with certain issues. This just happens to be a little bit more right-leaning of a thing. Transphobia. I'm not even going to talk about transphobia because, I'm not going to try to convince you one way or another. But this issue, this story has unfortunately become a way for transphobia to push the narrative. And they're just going to ignore the facts. Here's Jesse Waters talking about this boxing situation.
Now at a point where we're about to give gold medals to men for beating up women. We might have a gold and silver medalist who just beat up a bunch of women. They're going to stand up on the podium and get medals hung around their neck for punching girls in the face.
No one is saying that they're men. They're not men.
They're men.
No,
okay?
they're
Everybody
men.
knows they're men,
They're men.
Jessica. And if Trump were president, he would slap Algeria with sanctions.
Yep.
Harris now at a point.
Okay. I mean, what a perfect example of just fucking ignorance. They're actually not men. They're men. Everybody knows they're men. Actually, scientifically, they're literally not men. No, they're men. No, everybody knows they're men. And if Trump was president, he would slap Algeria with sanctions. Yeah, dude, he would hit Algeria with sanctions for sending out Olympic athletes that meet Olympic regulations. You're such a fucking jackass, dude. This guy, since Tucker left Fox, this guy has been like the guy at Fox. This is their fucking flagship at Fox. Embarrassing. The bar is this low for the national media. Fuck science, I guess. Jesse Waters decided he knows more about sex than science. She's a girl. Has always been a girl. No, she's a man. Oh, yeah? What? But she has a vagina. I thought that anybody with a vagina was just a girl. Isn't that the argument? Well, it's binary. It's just black and white, right? Well, I thought if a woman had a vagina, then she's a woman, right? Or no, because it doesn't fit in this weird agenda you're trying to push for some reason. If I was Imane Khelif, I would sue the fucking living shit out of Fox News and this dickhead immediately. Defamation. Everybody. Defamation. Defamation. Dan Orlovsky, defamation. I'm hitting everybody with defamation suits. Because the Olympics don't pay nearly enough money. Run me my fucking bag. You want to drag me through the mud? What's fascinating about this to me in that clip, these people have a preconceived notion or belief. That is incorrect. Okay? They're misinformed. Or they're not even misinformed. They just have created this concoction in their brain because it fits their narrative. And then, no matter how many facts they're presented with, they cannot be convinced otherwise. Again, this is not exclusive to the Republican Party. This is the fucking theme of the world right now. People have a preconceived notion of something. And then you just can't tell, you can't convince them otherwise. You can't present any amount of information backed by science and rationale and facts. It's well, that's bullshit. Facts don't care about your feelings, except when they challenge literally anything you feel, huh? It's exhausting. A biological woman can produce a lot of testosterone. This is something that has never been questioned in science. Decades of research on genetics by thousands of independent researchers from around the world, and yet suddenly, a bunch of fucking idiots with too much hair gel, who don't even know what blood type they are, have the fucking audacity to tell you and experts that they're wrong. Suddenly, these people who don't even watch boxing, let alone female boxing, know the nuance of genetics, chromosomes, testosterone, and the ins and outs of the rules of boxing. Imane Khelif would put Jesse Waters in the fucking ER with one jab. Girls beating up guys. No, it's girls beating up girls, and she would kick your ass. And I would love to as well. There's no woke mind virus corrupting society. This is science. This is not political. It is science. And watching this bizarre meltdown of people fighting up against facts because it just doesn't align with what they're thinking. It just doesn't align with the narrative. If you want to be fucking transphobic, cool, dude. Sure, buddy. You get that off. But make sure if you're doing it, you're factually correct about when you're doing it. This is not a trans woman. You fucking idiot. You're an idiot. Moving on. Sorry, guys. I just, sometimes when I put on the pitties, I just teleport to another realm of seriousness. Let me have a little sip of unbranded water, and we're going to talk about one more thing. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to Good Luck. We're now going to turn it over to the leading source of news and information. We're now going to hand it over to Gino the Ghost on GNN. Welcome to GNN, the world's leading source of news. And now, your host, Gino the Ghost. Hi, everybody. Welcome to GNN. I'm the host, Gino the Ghost, and this is the news. Our main story today on GNN, it's a political one, once again. And I know it seems like I've been dunking on Trump and the Republican Party, but guys, what choice do I have when all that's happening this past week, Donald Trump is crashing out? Bro is crashing out. They're melting down. I've never seen anything like this. In all my years of elections that I've witnessed, which is like maybe 5 that I've been old enough to understand, I've never seen. I mean, it went from walk away victory for the Republicans to like, oh, what's going on here? Oh God, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you saying? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? In like 4 days. So Kamala's named the nominee, and you could feel like kind of a shift pretty much right away, but not like uh-oh, now the Democrats are going to win. But it was like, okay, well, she's more formidable maybe than Trump. I mean, I talked about this. Like, I didn't think she was going to be able to get the votes. You know, Biden, as old as he was at least like much higher favored, right? And what happened is, it seems like from, you know, just looking at it from a 50 millimeter lens, the Republicans like don't know how to attack her. And instead of like the really obvious thing you would think, which would be like policy, hey, all the things that like went bad, your fault because you're in that administration. Like that seems like where you should be focusing on. The border, which they kind of were like starting to do. Well, all of a sudden, the headline, the main focal point of their attack is that Kamala Harris isn't black. So like I started seeing this and I'm like, okay, well, this is pretty bizarre. And then Trump tweeted about it, and then all the pundits started talking about it. And then Donald Trump he did like a panel with the NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists in Atlanta. And it went about as good as you could expect.
Then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir,
of
I'm
that.
asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So, I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly, very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans have said?
I really don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are...
Oh, no. What are you doing? He said she suddenly became black. So this video comes up. By the way, it was in Chicago, not Atlanta. Sorry about that. This video comes out, and you could feel the panic. You could literally feel it. Markets which had been pumping because looked like Trump was going to be president, started coming down. Poly market, which is a prediction market, who's had Trump favoring by all of a sudden, Kamala Harris is leading. And you could feel it. That could not have gone worse. You cannot go in front of the NABJ and say, not only just like not answer the DEI question, but be like, well, I don't know. All of a sudden, she became black. Like Kamala Harris became black all of a sudden, like she jumped in the phone booth as an Indian woman and then came out a black woman. It's mind blowing to me that but guys, so I posted this. Like, this is this is insane. And the response is that people were telling me, no, he's right. Kamala Harris isn't black. She's Indian. Guys, I can't believe I have to explain this to grown-ass adults. But you can be both Asian and black at the same time. Oh, it's called being biracial. And over 33 million Americans are biracial. The highest percentage by far are young voters, and pretty much all young voters go to school, work with, and have friends who are biracial. So before we even get into how absurd this point is, of all the fights Trump could choose, this is the angle that he wants to take. This is what he puts at the forefront of his campaign. What a bizarre, strange strategy. They keep citing an AP article which calls Kamala Harris the first Indian American senator. Or like, you know, a video she did with Mindy from The Office where she's like talking about being proud of being Indian. Her mother's Indian. Her father is from Jamaica and is black. She is and always has been black and has always identified as black and is genetically black and went to an HBCU. And I can't believe once again I have to argue genetics with fucking idiots. Seems like a common trend this week. Well, it isn't about her being black or not. It's that she's pandering to whichever audience she's speaking in front of. Hello? First day in politics? That's all politicians ever do with anything. They pander to their audience on every topic of everything, always, every time, always, ever. But furthermore, it's not crazy that if she's speaking in front of a South Asian community or to a South Asian person, of course she's going to talk about being proud of her Indian heritage and that she's a proud Indian and that she's happy to put on for that group of people. If she's speaking in front of the black community, of course she's going to talk about being proud of her black heritage and how she's proud to be putting on for that group of people. Because that is what it means to be biracial, and also that is what it means to be in politics. Most importantly, what are you fucking arguing about? Republicans are down horrendous. This is not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. It's not working, and it's not going to work. I mean, let's hear from our expert, renowned scientist Jesse Waters, who had this to say.
And she's just an average woman, Kennedy. She's just an average kind of mediocre person who avoids fixing things because she doesn't want any attention that's negative. She doesn't try that hard. And then when she does not try, she gets in trouble for not trying, and then she yells at everybody else. She likes wine. She likes food. She likes to dance. She's just like your typical girl's girl that
Sounds very basic.
talks behind everybody's back and then says nice things to your face. It's just, you know, she's just not at the level of what you'd think would be a president. She's just too mediocre to be president.
Very.
Not going to cut it. Y'all got to come harder, man. It's just not going to cut it. I'm giving you objective POV from the middle. Not going to cut it. She's an average woman that drinks wine and gossips. Dude, not going to cut it. And then Trump is like saying she's not black. And like the nicknames have been mid at best. Crazy Kamala. Come on. You already used that one. I mean, they're in a mad scramble right now for memes and funny jokes. And as I said last week, this election will be won in the trenches of the internet through memetic warfare. And they're getting the fucking hands right now. They're getting Imane Khelif right now. A bunch of white guys telling a black woman she isn't actually black is not going to work. And the polls are reflecting that. So y'all better come harder, because I'm looking forward to an entertaining election. I don't want it to be a landslide. I need content. All right? Get it together. All right, let's get to everyone's favorite segment. I'm going to have one more sip of unbranded water. And we're gonna head on over to the FOH HOF. It's time for the Fuck Outta Here Hall of Fame. This week, we're gonna kick it off with this one. It's actually not we're gonna show a video, but it's not a video. It's an article from the New York Times. And the headline of the article is, "The guys behind Hawk Tuah would like a little credit." Excuse me? The guys behind Hawk Tuah would like a little credit. The guys that interviewed the Hawk Tuah girl, the fucking the man on the street interview guys, let me get their names. Tom Dickerson and Darius Marlowe, a.k.a. Tim and D, aren't happy that they aren't seeing any credit for Haley Welch's Hawk Tuah video. So if you've been living under a rock, this is the Hawk Tuah video that went viral.
You gotta answer this. You got it.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Hawk Tuah. Spit on it.
Okay. So they want credit for that? You want credit for what? I mean, damn, can we get Hawk 2 of those 15 minutes of fame, at least? 2 to 3 of those? For sexually harassing 2 women on the street? We can't get any credit? We can't get any credit for, like, having a super creepy question and then a super creepy follow-up question to that? What's one move that, like, men can't resist in bed? You got a Hawk Tuah on that thing. Objectively very funny. Then he goes, I don't know, what you might have to demonstrate that. Dude. Okay, first of all, the New York Times should be fucking ashamed of themselves for publishing this. Journalism is dead. This isn't a news story. The argument is whether the Hawk Tuah girl should be famous or not. Which, like, yeah, whatever, man. It was fucking funny. Capitalize on your 15 minutes. Get that bag. Do what you got to do. But the man on the street interview guy? This is what they said in the New York Times article. At the end of the day, nobody would know who she was if we didn't bring it to light and post it, Darius stated. A lot of the audience who hadn't seen us before think we grew off this one clip. People were treating it like we're nobodies and didn't already have a platform. Hey, you guys are nobodies. Do you know why? Because you make man on the street content. You make the lowest form of content available. There isn't worse. You are the recycling bin of the internet. You are the bottom feeders of the internet. You're the algae at the bottom of the fish tank of the internet. You're the worst thing to ever happen to content. The clip went viral despite you idiots, not because of you. Okay? All right, moving on. Yeah, here's our next video.
Let's talk about what Jesus wears when he is in heaven. My name's Dakota Lee. I have a gift to see into the spiritual world beyond, and I have been visiting heaven. God's been letting me since I was 12 years old. And I love hanging out with Jesus. When Jesus is in heaven, he often wears his hair back in a low ponytail. And he'll wear sandals. He'll often be barefoot. and he'll wear very loose-fitting clothing. I've seen him in an actual like tunic plenty of times, but he will dress sometimes for the occasion. This one time, just because he wanted to make me laugh, he appeared to me in a cowboy hat. And I love horses, but it was so I love cowboy hats, but it was so weird to see him in that. Jesus definitely has a sense of humor, but one thing about Jesus, he told me, he does not like tight-fitting clothes.
The more you know. Jesus has drip, apparently. Jesus told Noah, drip or drown. Motherfucker. I mean, honey. Jesus was wearing a cowboy hat, not because he wanted to make you laugh, but because he's finally ready to ascend down on one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and put me out of my goddamn misery. And when Jesus returns, you know he's going to be rocking Fear of God. That motherfucker. That boy, Jesus got drip. You know Jesus shops at the Salvation Army, for sure, right? And that's a good joke. And that, let me tell you something. And that's a good joke. This poor girl, huh? First of all, did the Virgin Mary do your eyeshadow? Can you settle this for us, please? Is Jesus white or not? Because we've been talking about it here on Earth. And actually, just tell me what kind of sandals he's wearing. Because if they're Birkenstocks, he's definitely white. Oh shit! Hold on, I just got a text message. Oh, it's Jesus. He wanted me to tell you to take your medication. Yeah. You do have a special gift. It's called multiple personality disorder. And you should probably see somebody about that. The ending is fucking... And one thing Jesus wanted me to let you know, he does not like tight-fitting clothing. You hear that, Andy Elliott? Jesus, and Jesus does not wear a Mary jeans. And on the 3rd day, he shopped again. Oh, God. Mental illness. Last video before we go. Yeah, presented without comment.
This is Titan's 12-gauge stainless steel Hyper Casket. And the Hyper Casket is one of our most unique products we have here today. It's exciting, it's new, it's sleek, and it's been well received. We're here very proud today to announce this casket. You're probably wondering, how do you open this? Well, look at our recessed latch. Open it like so. Take your hand, you push it up, and the first thing that you notice is our black tufted vegan interior. It comes with a rubber gasket, matching pillow, blanket, and foot pillow. You'll notice that we have a multi-adjustable bed, a gas piston, robust hinges, and finally, a cloth to keep the casket nice and shiny. We also have an optional seatbelt. We're here at Titan Casket about affordability, uniqueness, and personality and customization. You can pre-order the Hyper Casket right now at TitanCasket.com.
$10,000. Elon Musk is wildin'. You know the hearse on the way to the graveyard is a Cybertruck. For sure, right? I mean, of course, all the comments on that video are that is this the Cybertruck? No, but the hearse that you know, that's for sure in a Cybertruck. Look at this fucking casket, dude. Oh, hey, can't spell funeral without fun. Pre-order the Paul Bearer Sports Edition now. Look at this fucking thing, dude. $10,000. Does it have Wi-Fi? Where are the lightning ports? Does this have Bluetooth so I can connect with my Starlink brain chip while my consciousness lives on in my decomposing body? Dude, 10 grand for it. You could save 9 grand and just bury your loved one in the stainless steel refrigerator from Kirkland. This thing's incredible. It has a seatbelt to keep you from rolling around when your nephews drop the casket because it's heavy as fuck and there's no handles on it. Dude, this is great, man. This is great marketing. He's got me talking about it. He's pitching this like a car salesman, you know? He should hire the Elliott Group to help sell these. Hey, look, I understand you have a lot to think about. Of course you have a lot to think about. It's a big decision. It's a big purchase. You know who else is going to have a lot to think about? Your deceased husband. He's going to have a lot to think about down there, buried 6 feet deep while maggots pick at his body. Don't you want him to be comfortable? Why don't you come inside and I can take you through a couple of our leather interior options and colorways so you have something to think about. How does that sound? Great. This casket, dude. The perfect casket for anybody that pays $250,000 to ride an Ocean Gate submarine to go visit the Titanic. They should be buried in these. Upper class vampires are going to be all over these shits, man. You know what I'm saying? Secondary market's going to be crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if resellers sell these for like $14K on Grailed. And I might have to pick one up. Fuck yeah, dude. Titan Casket. TitanCasket.com. That's all we got time for today, guys. I got a bunch of shit to do today. We'll do Just Ask Gino next week. I actually have a really good question that we're gonna unpack next week on that. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching Good Luck today. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, save it to your device, send it to a loved one, send it to an arch nemesis, send it to your ex-girlfriend. If you're watching on YouTube, and you should be, isn't that right, Gengar? You should be watching on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, Imane Khelif that fucking subscribe button, and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment, because you're an oil man or a woman, depending on your testosterone levels, genetic makeup, and all the other nuances of genetics. We're going to end the episode with everyone's favorite AI theme song, the Good Luck theme song, and I'm gonna bid you adieu with that. So, as the world continues to crumble, I will continue to be your narrator for the apocalypse. Until next week, good night. And good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you gotta know.
What's the name of that show, Pikachu? Oh, that's right. Good luck with who? That's right. With me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino by your side.
Hey.
You'll be feeling fine.
Come on.
Every week, he's gonna bring the hype.
Woo!
So come on, let's go tune in online.
Sing it.